The Ducks did not retain Cronin on April 19th. It's been a little over a week now, and honestly at times, it still doesn't feel real. But the most recent report about who the new head coach could be feels even more unreal. In this video, I'm going to give my thoughts on that and some other coaching candidates for the Ducks job. When Verbeek fired Eakins the day after the season ended on April 14th, 2023, it took him about 7-ish weeks to hire Cronin, officially naming him head coach on June 5th. This time around, Verbeek took a few extra days before firing Cronin, almost like he waited until the younger players finished their exit interviews, and it's clear something wasn't right, even though he said he didn't take those interviews into account. Side note, it would have been nice to see our so-called veteran leaders to go through exit interviews too. Shame they didn't have to answer for this season to the fans. As for the coaching search, it looks like Verbeek could once again take roughly the same amount of time to find Cronin's replacement, maybe even quicker this time. This is what Verbeek said about finding the next coach during his media availability after Cronin was fired. I was going to post a video clip of it, but for some reason the Ducks cut out this part of his interview. I'm sure this transcript has been edited too. Verbeek also added that his decision to fire Cronin wasn't influenced by current availability of a specific coach. The Ducks' job is an intriguing one. There's a nice mix of veterans, a young core, and some tantalizing prospects in the pipeline, but it's not the only open job, and that could force Verbeek to move quicker if he wants his top choice. The coaching carousel could be in serious spin mode over the next few weeks. We already have reports of at least one, if not the first person the Ducks have interviewed, Joe Quenneville. On Saturday, multiple reports came out that the Ducks had interviewed Quenneville. One even claimed that they offered him the job. Then on Monday, Elliot Freeman addressed it on his 32 Thoughts podcast.
Quenneville is a possibility, and I do think the two of them met face-to-face last week. Not everybody is going to like it, including some in your own fan base. And, obviously I've seen some fans have made social media posts. They've sent feedback to the team's website saying they don't like it. But the bottom line is that the Ducks are considering him, and he is a very serious contender for their job.
I was kind of waiting to hear what Freeman had to say before making this video. He's one of the most trusted sources out there. And now we know for a fact that Quenneville was interviewed and is being seriously considered by the Ducks, which is pretty disappointing in itself. The Ducks have stated they won't confirm or deny every rumor or report about candidates. On paper, Quenneville sounds like a dream hire. Second all-time in coaching wins with 969, 3 Stanley Cups. But in reality, this is about way more than wins. He was banned from the NHL for 3 years after Kyle Beach's sexual assault case, where Quenneville prioritized competing for a Stanley Cup over protecting a young player on his team from sexual abuse. Worse, he actively covered it up, which led to an actual child falling victim to the same predator. Now, he wasn't the only one to do this. There were people above him, but the matter of the fact is, he did nothing. Quenneville, now 66, was reinstated last summer, but is yet to return to the league. I'm not going to go through the whole case. There are way better articles and videos out there by people who know a lot more about the legal details than I ever will. Not gonna lie, I've had a really hard time writing this. I've rewritten it multiple times. I'm frustrated by this news, and it's made me seriously question what would it mean if Quenneville is hired. Not just for this channel, but honestly, for my future as a fan of this team. This is someone who prioritized winning over the health and safety of a player. I don't want that anywhere near the Ducks. I'm hoping we get some clarity from the Ducks in the next few days, though realistically, we probably won't. I mean, they couldn't even pull off exit interviews because Cronin was fired. How are they going to handle this PR storm? Maybe that's the thing, they won't. They will just sweep it under the rug like they did with the Cronin locker room drama. And with the lack of media coverage surrounding this team, no one is going to make them answer for it. And if someone does try to ask the tough questions, the Ducks will probably shut it down or shut that person out. That's the part that really stings. Maybe I could get around to the idea of him being hired if I actually trusted the Ducks to give us clarity. I believe in second chances, but what has Quenneville done to earn one? Just not coach for 4 years? How does that make him even more qualified than he was back then? He'd be the oldest coach in the NHL, trying to connect with one of the youngest rosters in the NHL, a generation he clearly didn't understand even when he was in the league. Beach was 20 years old when it happened. Also, those Stanley Cups, they were won more than 10 years ago. The game has changed a lot since then, and towards the end of his tenure in Chicago, Quenneville struggled to connect with younger players. Sure, he helped develop some of the talent that led to those cups early on, so I guess I can see both sides of that argument, but honestly, I don't know. According to the NHL, this is what Quenneville has done to learn from his mistakes. Not much that they're willing to share publicly. It's all very vague, very non-committal, and if you listen to his so-called apology interview, at least from my viewpoint, he doesn't sound generally remorseful. He seems like he's still hiding something or covering for someone. The weirdest part of all of this is that the Ducks, and especially Pat Verbeek, are known for being extremely tight-lipped. So the fact that this even got out makes me think it was intentional. Either Verbeek leaked it to test the media waters and see what kind of backlash he'd get, or more than likely it came from Quenneville's camp to stir interest from other teams. Or maybe it was a coordinated leak, who knows? But it's strange that this got out when usually no one knows anything about the Ducks' decisions until they're already made. And if it was Q's camp, did Verbeek like this leak? And the fact that this was even entertained, that really bothers me. Verbeek and Quenneville were teammates, so maybe this is just a favor, an old friend doing a solid. Gotta keep the old boys club together, right? But the idea of going from Cronin, a coach with widespread rumors of being a locker room cancer, someone the players reportedly couldn't stand, to this, to someone who oversaw something so much worse, that's just not tone deaf, it's a slap in the face to fans. And a lot of us have been vocal about it. The Ducks know that. There's no way they don't. If Quenneville is hired, I will cancel my season tickets immediately. And honestly, I don't know if I could support this team while he's here. Not while Verbeek is calling the shots. And maybe not even while the Samuelis are still signing off on this stuff. Let's not forget, they let Bob Murray's toxic alcohol-fueled environment fester for years. They hired Verbeek, who brought in Cronin. And now it could be Quenneville? I really hope I don't have to make that decision. Because the truth is, this shouldn't be hard. There are so many better coaching candidates out there. People who wouldn't drag this kind of PR storm behind them. Right now, the future feels really murky. Nothing's official yet, so there's still hope. There are other names on the table. If you want to, feel free to stop and read some of the names from Eric Stevens' article. The most popular name among Ducks fans seems to be David Carl, but according to Elliot Freeman, it sounds like he's staying in Denver. Apparently, he's looking for full control and a major investment to even consider leaving, and I just don't see Verbeek or the Samuelis, who are already footing the bill for Cronin, going for that. Another name fans have tossed around is Jay Woodcroft, but the more I look into him, the more he feels like a younger version of Cronin. He hasn't really won anything as a head coach, and I don't think he fits what Verbeek is looking for. Let's be real too, Verbeek seems to prefer someone pushing 60 anyway. If I had to guess, I think the leading candidates for Verbeek right now are Rick Tocchet and Mike Sullivan. Tocchett's name keeps coming up, not because of his record, which is pretty underwhelming, but because of his past connection with Verbeek. That alone probably earns him a serious look, but let's be real, he's another safe hire who actually hasn't won anything. Nothing about him feels exciting or forward-thinking. Not to mention the Miller-Pedersen feud, which he didn't seem to be able to handle. Can he control a locker room? If we can't get Carl, Sullivan would probably be my pick right now, though I'm not exactly sold on him either. Honestly, I don't even know who would be at the top of my list at this point, but there is a reason he's been in the same place for the last 10 years. He helped develop Sidney Crosby, so maybe he could help develop Leo too. It would be nice for a change to get a well-respected coach, and that's what Sully is. But those back-to-back cups he's won? That was almost a decade ago, and the Penguins haven't made the playoffs in 3 straight years under him, which suggests he hasn't really evolved his coaching style to keep up with the modern NHL. Some of that might have been the Penguins' aging roster, one of the oldest in the league, but based on what Pittsburgh fans have said online, Sullivan also has a reputation for not prioritizing young players. But again, we can probably chalk that up to roster construction. It's not like the Pens pipeline is as strong as the Ducks. But still, I'm not really thrilled with what some of the Pens fans have said. So great, maybe another Cronin type, but at least this one has championship pedigree. The real question is, would he even want the Ducks job when there are more high-profile openings out there? Especially ones that will probably pay more. To me, he feels like Quenneville without the baggage, and if that's the option on the table, I guess Verbeek should definitely jump on it. But to be real with you at this point, I'd probably be happy with just about anyone not named Quenneville. Maybe that's Verbeek's play after all. Float the worst possible name so anything else feels like a win. Let me know your thoughts on Quenneville and who you think will be the next head coach of the Ducks down below. Thank you to our members. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks!